The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Anti-Terrorism Council has identified 19 individuals designated as, quote, terrorists. Among those tagged as terrorists were Communist Party leader Joma Sison and NDF peace consultants Vicente Ladlad, Adalberto Silva, Rafael Bailosis, and spouses Wilma and Benny Camzon. In the resolution, the ATC said it found probable cause that these individuals, based on, quote, verified and validated information. The council also said the assets of these individuals designated as terrorists shall be subject to freezing by the Anti-Money Laundering Council. Under the Anti-Terror Act, which is currently being assailed before the Supreme Court, the council is authorized to immediately freeze the properties and funds related in any way to terrorism. In a separate resolution, the ATC also identified 10 groups as terrorist organizations over their supposed links to the Abu Sayyaf group. The country's task force on South China Sea reports that nearly 300 Chinese militia vessels are still scattered around the Spratly Islands. The task force said 287 Chinese ships were still in Philippine waters and within our exclusive economic zones, based on the patrols made on May 9. This is despite formal orders from the DFA for Beijing to withdraw its Chinese militia vessels from Philippine waters. Recall that President Duterte recently drew flack for saying that the 2016 arbitral ruling on the disputed waters was a mere piece of paper, which he could easily throw in the trash. The pandemic is transforming the campaign landscape, and as early as now, candidates for next year's elections are urged to come up with more creative campaign strategies that don't encourage the violation of health protocols. Jen Calimon with the details.
The filing of candidacy for the 2022 national and local election is set to begin in 5 months. For Rene Aquino, this is already the perfect time to introduce himself as a potential candidate. The 75-year-old retired teacher is vying for a city council seat at the 2nd District of Parañaque. His team has already started distributing face shields, face masks, and other COVID protection goods. He even conducted an online raffle via Facebook where 1,000 registered.
Alam ko napakaaga, di ba, meron tayong kasabihan na daig ng maaga ang masipag. Pero binibigyan kong pansin doon yung pagtulong. Hindi maaga ako mga panya, hindi.
Campaign strategist Professor Gerardo Eusebio says candidates for the upcoming polls must think of new ways to campaign during the pandemic. Going house to house and doing mass gatherings are a no-no.
Paano ka makakakuha ng boto without even meeting that person, no? So probably, I don't know if we call it innovation, but siguro yung very good campaign propaganda through visuals would be one. Baka ibabalik ulit yung mga, alam nyo yung may ikot-ikot na mga jeep, yung mga ganon, kasi yun, hindi masyado nakadikit sa tao yun.
With the need to social distance, Eusebio said that campaigning through social media may be a game changer, but it also has disadvantages.
Baka magkagulo, ma-overload yung ating yung Facebook halimbawa with all types of people kasi will do that.
But this might be the equalizer for candidates with resources and neophytes like Aquino.
Before you can travel, ikot ka ng ikot, di ba? And then what you do? You use a lot of hotels, di ba? You use a lot of airplanes. Sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, miski may pera ka, hindi mo rin pwedeng gawin yun because of the pandemic.
COMELEC said they will allow online campaigning, but expenses are still subject for monitoring. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, we are One News.
Authorities revealed that the Gubat Ciudad resort has been defying lockdown rules ever since the start of the pandemic. One of its managers, who also heads a police volunteer group, was allegedly using his influence to give the resort a free pass. Here are the details.
In March last year, the pandemic brought businesses to a halt as lockdowns were implemented to contain the spread of COVID-19. But it turns out the Gubat Ciudad resort, which recently made headlines for violating MECQ guidelines, has actually been continuing operations since the pandemic started. Caloocan authorities say residents of North Caloocan know that the resort had always been open despite lockdowns implemented by the government, reason why it was flocked by many residents on Mother's Day.
Wala po, tigil ang tao dyan, araw-gabi po. Ang operasyon. Kahit mula nung last March pa po ng hindi po natigil diyan ng Opo, tuloy-tuloy po ang bukas ng resorts.
But how did the resort's continued operations remain unchecked until over a year after the pandemic? For one, people heading to the Gubat sa Ciudad were able to make it past police checkpoints. This as some police and barangay officials already know about the ongoing violations.
Yes po, yun po yung mga pulis na nagbabantay po doon. Kasi sila po yung pulis dyan na nakabantay sa boundary po ng Bulacan at ng Caloocan. At sila rin po yung nagbabantay, papasok po ng mga tao dun sa Gubat Ciudad.
A certain Roger Romarosa supposedly manages the resort, but he is also the NCR director of the Police Hotline Movement, a police volunteer group in Caloocan. The group usually helps police officers in manning quarantine checkpoints in the area. Mary Joy is an official of the volunteer group who's usually assigned to man the checkpoint near the Gubat sa Ciudad resort. She revealed Romarosa is using his authority to protect his businesses within the resort.
Ang namamahala po dyan is si Roger Romarosa, NCR director ng Police Hotline. Since kasi na si director is kilala po sa mga kapulisan, sa barangay, sa mayor, so kaya po malaya silang nakapag-operate po.
Mary Joy also said that she often sees other policemen and their own families at the resort.
Pagkakalam ko po dyan, libre po yung mga pulis natin dyan sa pagliligo.
But after the commotion over the weekend, Romarosa seemingly went in hiding in fear of facing charges due to the violation. The News 5 team tried to reach out to Romarosa, but he has yet to respond. On Wednesday, a criminal case against the resort's president and general manager has been filed before the Caloocan prosecutor's office.
The planned rollout of Pfizer shots for hundreds of medical frontliners in Manila hit a snag this morning after an apparent miscommunication between the LGU and those hoping to get their shots. To tell us what's happening, we have Romel Lopez. He's reporting to us live from Manila. Romel, could you give us the updates on this?
Yes, Charles, medical frontliners are lined up here at the Santa Ana Hospital to get their COVID vaccines as the LGU is rolling out their Pfizer jobs. Many of those waiting in the line are dismayed as they line up early in the morning just to find out that only a limited number of vaccinees will be accommodated. The queue of would-be vaccine recipients stretched as far as 500 meters outside Santa Ana Hospital here in Manila. Only a handful were allowed to enter, leaving many hopefuls piled up outside while disregarding minimum health protocols. Some frontliners started to line up as early as 2 a.m. That's why they can't help but air their disappointment. They said that according to a Facebook post by the LGU, vaccination will be on a first-come, first-served basis. That's why after registering online, they lined up here, but they said that the hospital already has a list of recipients and did not observe the mentioned first-come, first-served basis. We have yet to receive an explanation from the hospital administrator regarding the matter, but let's hear the side of the frontliners.
Bigla sinabi sa amin, may listahan daw sila. May listahan daw sila na papapasukin lang kung sino lang yung nasa listahan. Bakit hindi pa po nila sinabi nung nakapila kami ng 4:30 a.m. dito na may listahan pala sila para hindi po kami naghintay?
Tignan nyo, kumpul-kumpul na po kami lahat dito. Yung exposure na binibigay nila sa amin. Meron ba silang pampa-hospital pag kami nagkasakit kami? Diba? Napakapangit po ng hospital. Tapos yung mga doktor po na nasa loob, na may hawak ng ospital, mga bastos po. May FB Live po si Yorme, ang sabi niya, first come, first serve. At hindi niya sinabi na 6 district hospital na staff lang ang bibigyan. Sabi first come, first serve. Tapos ngayon wala. Anong gagawin namin ngayon? Mag-iintay sa wala. So hindi po kami titigil nang hindi ma-reprimand kung sino yung gumawa ng mga listahan nila.
Charles, but as far as the social media post of the LGU of Manila is concerned, they made it clear that only 210 doses of vaccine will be available here in the area today. Charles?
Thanks for that, Romel. That was Romel Lopez reporting live from Manila. Miss Universe has revealed the 8 members of the selection committee for this year's competition. The lineup screams girl power as all of them are women. 2 Miss Universe title holders are leading this year's selection committee. These are Miss Universe 1997 Brooke Lee of the US and Miss Universe 2006 Zuleika Rivera of Puerto Rico. Also joining the panel of judges are Canadian television host Kelty Knight, American actress Arden Cho, and Colombian economist Tatiana Orozco. The selection committee also includes names from the business community, and these are entrepreneurs Christine Duffy and Deepika Mutyala and marketing executive Cheryl Adkins Green. The 69th Miss Universe is set to hold its finals night on the morning of May 17, Manila time. Our very own candidate Rabia Mateo is gearing up for the big night in Florida as she aims to bag the Philippines' 5th Miss Universe crown. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.